Canada's only NBA team, the Toronto Raptors, is calling on Ottawa to observe a National Gun Violence Awareness Day in this country.
Gun violence doesn't stop at the border. Sign the petition.
Canada needs a Gun Violence Awareness Day. Sign the petition.
Gun violence is a problem in the United States and Canada. Please sign the petition.
The Day of Awareness exists in the U.S. The team needs 100,000 people to sign a petition in order to submit it to the House of Commons. John Wiggins is the Vice President of Culture and Inclusion for the Raptors. He's in Toronto. Hi, Mr. Wiggins. Good.
Well,
why did the Toronto Raptors feel like it's important to call for a National Gun Violence Awareness Day in this country, in Canada?
I mean, I think first and foremost, gun violence is on the rise, not only in the Greater Toronto area, but across our country. And it's time that we start talking about it so people have a better understanding of what gun violence means here in Canada. It may not look the same as it does on the other side of the border, but we realize it's a prevalent problem that we should be addressing. And what better way to do that than to recognize it federally and nationally and start having conversations that we need to have.
And would this involve, for example, federal legislators or members of parliament or the government to officially recognize the day? Like, what is it specifically that you're asking for or hoping for?
Specifically, absolutely, yeah. We are looking for it to be federally recognized. We want to go through all the steps and process of getting it passed through legislature so that this is something that people take serious, first of all, that it is acknowledged and is meaningful and intentionally spoken about throughout the country every single year. And we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way for a topic that's this important.
And have there been any conversations, for example, with members of parliament or with the Minister of Public Safety? He was asked by our reporter today about this, and he said it was a great thing, something that he applauds. I'm paraphrasing, but didn't necessarily commit specifically to making it happen. Are there conversations ongoing from your perspective?
Absolutely. I would say there's been a few MPs that have reached out to support this cause, and specifically the Minister of Public Safety, Marco Mendicino. He did reach out to say he'd like to get behind this. He'd like to see how he can support it, and we'll continue to have our conversations this week as the petition continues to get signatures and grow in popularity. He believes it's something that ties into a lot of the mandates that he has, and we want to continue to talk about it, and he's willing to take it through the House of Commons for us as we understand it. So we just want to know how we can support it and how we can support us, because the messages align. Right now, we're just looking for an inclusive community that's free of violence and safe for everybody.
Is the day aimed at highlighting that, kind of increasing awareness, or is there also a bit of political motivation? I mean, we're a political show here. Are you hoping, is the organization, for example, hoping that it leads to stricter gun laws, gun control laws, that kind of thing, or is it just about awareness?
For us, it's about awareness and safety. That's where it's going to start. I think there's going to be tie-ins to some of the things we see presenting itself with gun control laws, but right now it's about awareness and safety. Our role as a community leader right now is to try and speak to everybody from a social change standpoint on how we can get better and have safer communities for everybody. And it's not to negate that some of that might involve some more political conversations, but our motivation is around awareness. Our motivation is around educating everyone on how they can stay safe and what they can do to keep their communities safe, and we want as much support from that as we can.
And I know, as you were saying, this is about the prevalence of gun violence in this country, but obviously over the past few weeks, I think Canadians have been watching what took place in both Buffalo and Uvalde, watching what occurred and then the ensuing political back and forth about a little bit of gun control laws in the United States. I'm wondering what you think as you watch that unfold there, and if you think it will inform any of the perspective here.
I think really when I see it is it hits close to home. I think we know that the U.S. is a neighboring country, and a lot of what happens can sometimes trickle across the border. It influences people's perspectives, and I think that's the point for us right now that says this is a topic. As a part of the NBA, we're part of that community in a sense. The NBA extends itself across North America, and we see the concerns and problems that are happening down there as things we need to address as well. A large majority of our players are from the United States as well. So when they come here, they also want to know not only how can they impact the community that they play and work in and live in right now, but how they can translate that back to their homes in the U.S. So for us, it's intertwined, it's connected, and we don't see them as separate issues. If we can create more awareness around gun violence, we have our other 29 teams in the NBA that are also doing the same thing, then I think it's just benefiting everybody and understanding more about the rising issue that's happening on both sides of the border and what we can do to fix it.
Do you have any thoughts as to what's causing the rise? Do you think it's the weapons? Do you think it's other root causes? Like, what do you have any thoughts about the reasons behind this really troubling increase?
Yeah, I honestly think that we're a growing society, and some of the issues especially are not being talked about. I think that people don't realize exactly what they're faced with in the public society today. And I think that's part of the reason we want an awareness campaign, so they understand what gun violence looks like here. Again, it may not be the same as it is across the border. It may not be mass shootings, but carjackings are on a rise here. Home invasions are on a rise here. And in those respects, we want to make sure everybody understands that the world has changed, and it may not be the exact way we understood it 10, 15, or 20 years ago. So let's have conversations about what's happening and how we can protect ourselves. But I just think the world is changing. We've been through a pandemic. We've been through a racial reckoning. We all know that over the last couple of years, the world is changing. Our world is changing. Let's talk about it so that we can make it a better place.
Mr. Wiggins, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you as well.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.